we're going to be taking a look at Quizlet. So to begin, we click on our browser and go to www.quizlet.com. Quizlet is a free website that provides learning tools such as flashcards, games, and quizzes to our students. Now, in order to upload content into Quizlet, you do need to create a login. It's free, and they won't send you any emails or anything like that. So, you need a username and a password, and then you can log in and create content. So in order to create a quiz, you go right up here to the top center and put Create Study Set. And then it'll ask you for a title. The default title that came up here was Chapter 1 Vocabulary for Language Arts class. We'll change that to Chapter 1 Terms 1 through 5. And then you could even put a class number on there, or you can say something like Tuesday class. So that way, if you have multiple classes searching, they know which quiz is theirs. Then you have to choose a language in which to type your terms and definitions. English is the default. I believe they have 18 different languages. So in order to create our content, we put the terms and the definitions, and then in some cases, if you would like to upload a picture, you can do that. Most of the time for the vocabulary quizzes, it's difficult to find a picture, but it does work for a lot of the other topics. So then we'll just go ahead and enter our terms and definitions. Our term is daily. Our definition is done every day. Then we can move on to our second term, and we just go through like this and enter our terms. And then when we're done, I'm only going to do the first two terms in the interest of time. You click Create. If you have more than 5 terms, you can just press this little plus button and it keeps adding terms. Then you click Create, and it saves your quiz. Now, you can add it to a folder or a class. It gives each quiz its own URL address, or you can just close out of that and have your students search for the quiz. So when your student logs on, this is what they're going to see. And your students do not need a login to take a quiz. They just need to know which quiz to look for. So I would tell my Tuesday class, go in and search, and our search key is right up here. Go in and search for Chapter 1 terms for the Tuesday class, and then this is what they would see. So when they click on the quiz, they see the terms, and then they see the definitions. They also have these 4 different ways in which they can study, and then 2 games in which they can play. So the different study tools are flashcards, which allow the students to review the material, and they can shuffle the cards, randomize them,
Daily.
and also listen. So we have the audio on right now.
Daily.
We can also turn the audio off if we choose. And the students will see the term, and then they flip to the back of the card, and they see the definition. And we can turn the audio back on and listen to that if we'd like.
Done every day.
And the audio is nice for our English language learners as well as our auditory learners. After they're done with their flashcards, they can move on to Learn. And Learn tracks the correct and incorrect answers, and it'll give our students the definition, and then they have to type the term in. They can also listen to the definition as well.
To keep people's interest.
And then they type in the definition, the term, and they'll see that they got 1 correct. Then they can continue. Speller, I'll let it play.
Entertain.
It tells you, the students are typing what they hear. So it will show you the definition, tell you the word, and the students have to type what they hear. And this is nice, especially again for those ELL and auditory learners, but it also gives us that visual component by showing us the definition while we're listening to the word. And again, obviously, the name speller, it helps our students with their spelling abilities. The test randomly generates the test based on the terms that you've entered. And the students can select the types of questions that they wish to ask. They can have written, matching, multiple choice, true and false. And then they can start with either the term, the definition, or both. So it allows you and them to kind of personalize it for their strengths and weaknesses. These last two are games. Scatter is a drag and match the terms to the definition, and it is a timed game. So the goal is to make everything disappear. Obviously, you will probably have more than 2 terms when you're using it in your class. But the students have to take one and drag it to the other, either the word to the term or the term to the word. And then it will tell them how quickly they manage to clear the screen. And then the students can play again and keep trying to beat their previous record. Gravity is another game where we have to protect the planet from incoming asteroids. You can select easy, medium, or hard, and again, you can start with the term, the definition, or random. So we have to watch out for red asteroids, because if we miss a term, they will destroy the planet. So we have the asteroid coming in. The term is daily. So we then have to type the definition. Done every day. And you can see we have a score of 170. We managed to save the planet. Oh, again, if you have more than 2 terms, you probably will not have the repetition that we just had there. We can pause the game, restart, and this is just a fun way for your students to kind of get a little bit competitive about learning their material, which is always kind of fun. In addition to creating your content, you can also always search for content on Quizlet. So to go back to the Quizlet homepage, I'm just going to click that Quizlet in the upper left-hand corner. And you can search. Now the nice part about searching Quizlet is that you have access to all these quizzes that other teachers have created. The bad part is that when you type in a term, and often it'll be a term that lots of teachers use, there will be a lot of quizzes that come up. So it will be important for you to go through those quizzes and make sure you tell your students exactly which quiz to take. For example, if I want to work on the Constitution with my students, we go here into the Search Quizlet bar. We can type in Constitution. And we see there are 500 study sets, so that's quite a few. We see the name of the study set, the teacher who uploaded the study set, and then how many terms are in each study set. As I said earlier, you can upload pictures with your terms. In a case like this, Constitution, that makes a lot of sense. We see the Constitution right there, and it's a really nice tool, not only for our visual learners, but also just to provide a little bit more context for our students. So if you're going to be searching for content with your students, you should give them a specific quiz to look for or a specific teacher's name. When I tell my students to use Quizlet, they go in and they search for my username. And then when they search for my username, they will see all of the quizzes that I have uploaded. So if we want to go to that Chapter 1 Tuesday night class, they know to look for their class. You can label them by class number, you can label them by day, by chapter, whatever works best for you, and then they'll click on that and have access to it. So that pretty much sums up Quizlet. In addition to being able to access it from the computer, Quizlet also has an app that your students can download on their smartphones They have an app for, I believe, both Android and iPhone. And so that's a really nice way that your students can have easy access to their material, whether they're at work, on their lunch break, any place but in their car, really, because they always have their phones on them, and it's just really great for them to have the accessibility of being able to pull it up wherever they are and be able to look at class content when they may not actually be in class. So I hope you enjoy Quizlet and you find it as useful as I do.